Hello everyone, I'm Hannah Elsa Abraham, an audiologist and a speech language pathologist, and welcome back to my channel, The Happy SLP. Before starting with the topic, let me just remind you all, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, so that you can stay tuned with the upcoming videos as well.
I have received.
That was a clipping from the famous movie King's Speech, and I hope it helped you to realize what I'm going to talk to you all in this video. Yes, you're right, it's about stuttering. And we know that stuttering is commonly known as stammering, and it's also called as childhood onset fluency disorder. I have already mentioned about this in my previous video on speech and language disorders, and today let us see this in detail. All of us have different situations where we fail to speak smoothly. We may add some fillers like or to what we say, or we might even repeat particular sounds of words. These are called disfluencies, but the people who stutter may have more disfluencies in their speech. The stuttering can vary from day to day, and there'll be times where people are more fluent in one day and they stutter very badly the next day. More than 70 million people stutter worldwide, and almost 80 to 90% of people have acquired this by the age of 6. Many children go through normal periods of disfluency lasting less than 6 months. Stuttering lasting longer than this may need treatment. Now let us look on to the signs and symptoms of stuttering. The following types of disfluencies happen when someone stutters. They might have difficulty starting a word, phrase, or a sentence. Prolonging a word or sounds within a word. For example, Susie is very pretty. Repetition of sound, syllable, or a word. I want to go out. Or the word repetition will sound like go away. The brief silence for certain syllables or words, or pauses within a word. And for example, I want roti. Addition of extra words such as if difficulty moving to the next word is anticipated. Excess tension, tightness, or movement of the face or upper body to produce a word. Anxiety about talking, limited ability to effectively communicate. The speech difficulties of stuttering may be accompanied by rapid eye blinks, tremors of the lips or jaw, facial tics, head jerks, clenching fist, and all this can be seen. Stuttering may be worse when the person is excited, tired, or under stress, or when feeling self-conscious, hurried, or pressured. Situations such as speaking in front of a group or talking on the phone can be particularly difficult for people who stutter. If they know that they are going to stutter at a particular word, then they may also avoid using certain words or use different words to keep from stuttering. Stuttering may cause a person to be embarrassed and make them feel nervous about talking. However, most people who stutter can speak without stuttering when they talk to themselves and when they sing or speak in unison with someone else. Now let us see the causes and risk factors of stuttering. One of the main causes is related to genetics. There is now strong evidence that almost half of all children who stutter have a family member who stutters. Another cause is brain differences. People who stutter may have small differences in the way their brain processes during a speech. A lot of studies are happening regarding this cause. And if we look in relation to gender, we can see that the boys are more likely to continue stuttering than girls. Now let us see the types of stuttering. Stuttering is commonly grouped into two types, mainly termed as developmental and neurogenic. Let us see developmental stuttering. It occurs in young children while they are still learning speech language skills and when their abilities do not meet their verbal demand. It is the most common form of stuttering. Next, let's see neurogenic stuttering. Neurogenic stuttering may occur after a stroke, head trauma, or another type of brain injury. With neurogenic stuttering, the brain has difficulty coordinating the different brain regions involved in speaking, resulting in problems in the production of clear and fluent speech. And there is a rare type caused by emotional trauma which is known as psychogenic stuttering. Now, when you should visit a professional? Your child's stuttering has lasted for 6 to 12 months or more, or if your child starts to stutter late, probably after 3.5 years old, or if your child starts to stutter more often, or your child tenses up or struggles when talking, or your child avoids talking or says it's too hard to talk, or if there is a family history of stuttering, or if you're an adult who is suffering from stuttering. With all these, you can meet a professional. So after hearing all of this, you must be wondering, Whom should I consult or whom should I take my child to? Let me help you. Stuttering is usually diagnosed by a speech language pathologist or a speech therapist. The speech language pathologist observes the adult or child speak in different types of situations. They will consider a variety of factors, including your child's health history, including when he or she began stuttering and when stuttering is most frequent, how stuttering affects your child's life, such as relationship with others and school or college performance. They will also talk to your child and may ask him or her to read aloud to watch for subtle differences in speech. And they will also rule out an underlying condition that can cause irregular speech, such as Tourette syndrome. And if you're an adult seeking for help, then SLPs will additionally want to know what treatments you have tried in the past, which can help determine what type of treatment approach may be best, and will also ask questions to better understand how stuttering affects you and how stuttering has impacted your relationships, school performance, career, and other areas of your life, and how much stress it causes. Finally, let us look at how is stuttering treated. After a comprehensive evaluation by a speech language pathologist, a decision about the best treatment approach can be made. Several different approaches are available to treat children and adults who stutter. Because of varying individual issues and needs, a method or a combination of methods that is helpful for one person may not be as effective for another. Treatment may not eliminate all stuttering, but it can definitely teach them the skills that help to improve speech fluency, develop effective communication, and participate fully in school, work, and social activities. Let us look at the major treatment options. The first one is speech therapy, which is again provided by the speech language pathologist or speech therapist. Speech therapy can teach you to slow down the speech and learn to notice when you stutter. You may speak very slowly and deliberately when beginning speech therapy, but over time you can work up to a more natural speech pattern. Another treatment option is electronic devices. Several electronic devices are available to enhance fluency. Delayed auditory feedback requires you to slow your speech, or the speech will sound distorted through the machine. Another method mimics your speech so that it sounds as if you're talking in unison with someone else. Some small electronic devices are worn during daily activities. Ask a speech language pathologist for guidance on choosing a device. The next one is cognitive behavioral therapy. This type of psychotherapy can help you to learn to identify and change ways of thinking that might make stuttering worse. It can also help you resolve stress, anxiety, or self-esteem problems related to stuttering. One of the most important strategies is parent-child interaction. Parental involvement in practicing techniques at home is a key part of helping a child cope with stuttering, especially with some methods. Follow the guidance of a speech language pathologist to determine the best approach for your child. Lastly, medication. Although some medications have been tried for stuttering, no drugs have been proved yet to help the problem. So these are the major treatment options that are available. And I hope this video was helpful to all of you, and I'll be doing more videos on stuttering in the coming days. Let me just remind you again, please do subscribe to my channel and also share them with your friends whom you think this would help. You can always contact me, the Happy SLP, either via comments or through my social media accounts, Facebook or Instagram, regarding your concerns and queries regarding speech, language, hearing and swallowing issues. And I'll be providing the links in the description, and I will try my best to help you. So until we meet again in another video, stay happy and much love. Hannah, the Happy SLP.